Hey you guys, it's Mrs. Pierce, and this is my screencast on organizing your essay. By the way, I'm at home with my daughter who is sick today, and so you might hear her in the background. She's playing on the floor. So if you hear any weird sounds or toys, that's what it is. So I want you guys to think about your essay like your essay is a boat. Yep, it's a boat. It floats. That's because it has a watertight argument. But as you can see, there's something missing from this boat. Something that might steer the boat in the right direction and let you paddle your way to wherever you want to go. And that's what your thesis statement is. Your thesis statement is like an oar. Without it, your essay, no matter how great your ideas, will drift sadly out to sea with no direction. You know, like a boat without an oar. So basically, your thesis statement is going to allow you to steer your essay in whatever direction you want it to go. Okay, so I thought I was pretty nifty by thinking of this little acronym for your thesis, and it spells out the word OR. So the O stands for opposition. That's where you acknowledge the opposing viewpoint. You just basically kind of summarize what someone that doesn't agree with your standpoint on the issue, summarize what they would say about it. The argument, that's where you give the argument that you're going to prove in your essay. And then lastly, the reasons, that's the R. List the main reasons to support the argument. So as you can see, it spells out O-A-R, or. So I have an example thesis here, and it's over the benefits of adopting a pet from a shelter. So it says, although purebred pets offer the prestige of a certain pedigree, adopting a shelter pet is a better choice because it saves money and lives. So as you can see, that first part, although purebred pets offer the prestige of a certain pedigree, that's where I'm acknowledging the opposition. Someone that wouldn't want to adopt a shelter pet, that would be their opinion. Okay? Then the next part that I underlined there, adopting a shelter pet is a better choice, that's my argument. That's what I'm asserting is the correct way to think about this issue. And then the last part, because it saves money and lives, that's where I list my reasons. It saves money and it saves lives. Okay? Okay, so here are some other tips to success, like my little successful baby over here. So what will make your thesis successful? First of all, the location. Your thesis should be at the end of your introduction paragraph. Okay, that's where I'm going to look for it whenever I read your essays. Especially since we're all learning, it makes sense for us to put it there. That way I can evaluate whether or not your thesis was doing its job. The length. A thesis statement should be a single, but a kind of long sentence. So your whole paragraph, your whole introductory paragraph is not a thesis. Your thesis is just that last sentence of your introduction, one sentence only. Okay, and then characteristics. A good thesis has the following qualities, and hold on, I had to make separate slides for this. Okay, first quality is focused. It should answer the prompt and be narrow enough to discuss and prove within the assigned length. So if I asked for, a 2-page essay, your thesis would be a lot narrower than if I asked for a 4-page essay. Okay, controversial. This doesn't mean that your thesis is a hot-button issue, but that a reasonable person could argue an alternative or opposite position. So I've got a little example here. Not controversial would be the thesis statement saying Romeo and Juliet is a play about young lovers struggling against their families. That's something you couldn't argue. That's just a fact. I mean, you guys read this play when you were freshmen, so you know that that's just true. You can't argue about it. A better one that's more controversial is, while it's true that Romeo and Juliet is a play about young lovers, the most complex relationships are those between the young characters and their older mentors. Now we have something that we could actually discuss, because someone could argue that maybe the most complex relationships are between, Romeo and Mercutio, or Juliet and Tybalt, or something like that. So there is an opposing viewpoint there, and that's what makes this one more controversial. Okay, the next one is supportable. A thesis will clearly require evidence to prove, and will often make it clear what kind of evidence will be required. And that's what I asked y'all to do with the or thesis mnemonic there. The R stood for reasons, and so your reasons are your evidence. Okay, significant. It should explain why it is worth arguing for. Okay, that's kind of what you're doing by acknowledging the opposition. By doing so, you show that your thesis has significance. And then directed. A good thesis will often hint at or say explicitly how the argument will be proven. And again, that goes back to giving your reasons in your thesis. Okay, so let's talk about what all this has to do with organization of your essay, because you're probably wondering, okay, I know how to make a thesis statement now, but how is that going to help me? So basically, your thesis steers you and your reader in the right direction. So it's the most important thing to your organization. You use the reasons that you discuss in your thesis to create your body paragraphs. So let's look at the example thesis from before. It said, although purebred pets offer the prestige of a certain pedigree, adopting a shelter pet is a better choice because it saves money and lives. So basically, we would take the reasons, money, and then lives, and saving money would be what our first paragraph would be about, and then saving lives would be what our second body paragraph would be about. So just from our thesis, we already know how we're going to organize our essays into paragraphs. Okay, next we're going to answer the question, how can my thesis help me get started on my body paragraphs? Because we talked about how it relates, but we need to have a little bit more explanation of how it can actually help you write those body paragraphs. So a thesis directly helps you write your topic sentences. Your topic sentence is the first sentence of your body paragraphs. So what a topic sentence is it will begin your body paragraph and it will expand on one of your reasons from your thesis. So I've got some examples here. Okay, so here's my example thesis again. So my first topic sentence that I created was about saving money, because that's the first thing I listed in my thesis. You want to go in the same order. So my first body paragraph topic sentence is, one of the main benefits of adopting a shelter pet is that it can save the new pet owner hundreds of dollars. So notice I reused the word save, which is straight from my thesis. And instead of money, I changed it up a little and said hundreds of dollars, but it's the same idea. You want to make sure that you're repeating. You can either repeat the same words or you can put them in a little bit different words, but you want to repeat that idea in your topic sentence so that your essay has coherence. Okay, the second topic sentence I came up with, as you can guess, is about saving lives. So I kind of recapped what I talked about in my previous paragraph. I said, while saving money is a great benefit in itself, shelter pets also give adoptive pet parents the opportunity to save the life of an animal. So again, I reused the word saves, and also I used life, which goes with lives. So that came straight from my thesis. Okay, so let's review. Hopefully you can answer these questions, and I'll talk through them as well. So first one is, why is your thesis an or? And basically that's because just like an oar helps a boat row from place to place, your thesis will direct the argument in your paper. and it will also kind of serve as a blueprint for your reader and yourself as you're writing. What does OR stand for? The O stands for opposition, to acknowledge the opposition. The A stands for argument, giving your argument. And the R stands for reasons, giving your main reasons why you believe that argument. Okay? The next question. How do you know how many body paragraphs you will have in your essay? And this is what we were just looking at. So basically, in the example thesis, I listed 2 reasons. So that's how I know how many body paragraphs I will have. I'll have 2. If you listed 3 reasons, then you would have 3 body paragraphs, and so on. The last question, what goes into the topic sentence of each body paragraph? Basically, that was what we just talked about. You take your reasons from your body paragraph, take your first one, and expand upon it and tell what you're going to be proving based on that reason. And that's your topic sentence. So hopefully, after this, you'll be able to organize your essay and create a successful thesis statement. This is my works cited page. I did use a couple of internet sources to come up with some of the qualities of the thesis and things of that nature. So I wanted to go ahead and give them credit, which is what you guys should always do as well in your papers. So I hope you guys enjoyed the screencast and got lots of good notes on how to write thesis statements and how to organize your essay.